smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
It's Hemp Works on that lovely Time of Hemp international radio network station, run by Casper, no less. The most amazing man on the planet, really. Anyway, Richie, we got you on there tonight. Richi Q, come on in.
Hey, Steve.
Richi Q, you're fantastic. I love what you do. It's so long-winded, your CV. I'm going to let you tell the people what you do.
First of all, I just want to say that before I heard the introduction music, I thought this was a really serious show.
It is. Do you not agree with any of that music then? That cannabis might save the planet? Clean the dirty air? Heal the sick? Yeah.
Absolutely, man. No, it's a serious message with a light-hearted tune. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's pretty much, we are, Time for Hemp and Hemp Works, we are dealing with some very global international problems. We're dealing with life and death problems. We had the canna mums on here with the canna kids that are going through treatment and being successful with the cannabis oil, and they're still having to have chemotherapy, which is obviously not successful. We deal with a lot of stuff here, but we like to keep it upbeat because we have hope, because eventually we know that this plant is going to take root. It is certainly taking seed at the moment, and as soon as it takes root, then we're going to see an awful lot of difference on this planet, one way or another. I think for the better.
What?
So, Richie, I met you at the Vegan Fest, and what a marvellous, wonderful ball of energy you was.
Oh, thanks, man. No, it was a real joy to meet you, and also what a time to meet you. In my life, it's relatively recent, really, that it's been revealed to me, the importance of the plant and its curative potential. And so to meet you when I did was just absolutely wonderful, perfect, synchronistic timing.
Fantastic. I'm glad that we met. So, Richie, what exactly do you do? I've looked at your website, and it's quite amazing. You do retreats, and you're using holistic food and holistic medicine and holistic meditation. Everything. You're looking after people. When we throw this word holistic in, that just means looking after the whole, doesn't it?
Holistic is really a perspective. It's really we've fallen into over time into reductionism, which is to look really hard at the parts. And when you do that, you can very easily lose the big picture, and you can kind of look at the world and see that that's a large part of the problem. Having a holistic perspective means that you pay attention to the details, but you never lose the big picture. And when we're dealing with health, of course, to reduce things to parts and components, and to only look in isolated areas at the expense of the whole is, as we have experienced, it's a misadventure. So holism really is a whole. It can be a whole way of life. It's a new approach, a new perspective. It's not just a type of massage, holistic massage. It's a different way of looking at things, and it's counterintuitive for us a lot of the time because we are pulled into polarities, we're pulled into the details, and a lot of the time we're told that there isn't an innate connection between one thing and the other, when of course, we really know deep down, common sense tells us, and now education tells us that of course there is.
Also, it's interesting as well, if you ever have a chance to go to one of the first free hospitals in the UK, which was St Thomas's, at St Thomas's Street in London. If you go to the old operating theatre there, that was open around about the late 1600s, I believe, they treated people there holistically. They used the word holistically. They would look at everything, from the toenail to the tongue, to the urine and to the feces, and they would treat a person for a whole illness rather than just a pinpoint illness. So it's not something that's new.
Well, it's like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It really is fundamentally common sense. If you look at one person that suffers from many different illnesses, well, what's the connection between those illnesses? Is they're all happening within the same body. You know,
that's very true.
That body is connected to itself. All of these parts that are dysfunctioning are connected within the same body. You know, so to overlook the overall health and the internal environment of that body that's connected to all of these different areas that are showing dysfunction is a really bizarre thing, really. But what we have is we've entered into a pill for an ill mentality that serves a profit-driven pharmaceutical industry very well, because it means we're always looking for that one pill for that one thing, and maybe overlooking our overall health. And it's really like trying to pat out fires while another one springs up, while overlooking the whole time that there is something within, some fire that needs to be quelled, something that needs to be addressed underneath.
Absolutely. So how do you go about that? What's an average? I'm a patient, and I like to put myself in the I don't know position. I'm a patient that's got some things wrong with me. What do I do? I'm obviously looking for I hate that word alternative. I must stop using it. I'm looking for other non-PLC treatments, that don't come from these large, massive profit organisations, which sort of leads me into the realm of Chinese medicine, of acupuncture medicine, of herbalist medicine, of other form of healings that have all been very well documented. So how do I find you? What do I do to get to you? What would happen?
Well, to connect with me, or just to connect with information that might be helpful for you?
Well, really to connect with the information that you're holding. I mean, so I sort of phone you up, I email you. What do you do from there? What's the procedure?
Well, the intention really, the biggest intention for me is to reach as many people as possible. And to do that, I'm the brand LifeWell, which I founded. Its mission is to basically do that, and it does that by connecting with. It's not only just about me, connecting with a lot of other wellness professionals, a lot of other facilitators and teachers, and being able to get this guidance and this life-saving guidance, or this life-changing guidance to as many people as possible through as many different channels as possible. And, you mentioned there's retreats. We've been doing retreats in the past. We've got a hold on that at the moment. I've got other projects going on. Because there's also some people will go on retreats, and some people are able to go on retreats. Other people may want to go on a one-day workshop, and they're able to go on a one-day workshop. Some people may be able to go along to a one-hour presentation, and they're able to do. And so we're creating as many entry levels as possible for as many different people as possible, so they can get the help they need. And one of my favourite projects at the moment is where we met at VegFest. VegFest have invited us to facilitate at their festival afternoons, or 2 afternoons, depending on which event it is, of guidance where I come along and LifeWell comes along, and we bring a host of other speakers, and we have an afternoon of presentations for people to come along to, and of course they can visit those. We call them LifeWell hubs, but within VegFest UK, for just the price it is to get into the festival, which usually is not more than a few pounds. It can be between £3 and £10, I think, depending on which event it is. So that I'm just overjoyed to be a part of, because anybody can come along and spend that few pounds and come along and listen to me talk and listen to some of the other speakers. We've got some wonderful speakers within the world of lifestyle coaching, as well as emotional and psychological wellness guidance. So that's been a lot of fun. We also have a seminar coming later in the year, the Wellbeing Now seminar, and it's so exciting to be a part of, because we've got some awesome speakers, and it's my belief that anybody that comes along to that will pretty much have all the direction, information, inspiration they need to go on into whatever journey they need to and direction they need to create healing and health for themselves. And that's in October. And in tandem with that, we're launching the LifeWell Institute. And the fundamental mission of LifeWell Institute is to try and reach communities and people that would never ever come across this guidance, and we do that through community projects. So I know that's a lot of things, as you rightly point out, Steve. But for me, once you've experienced healing and health, through, as you say, the word alternative isn't perhaps the most appropriate, but through non-mainstream channels and non-conventional channels. And people don't have access to that information. You know, for me, it's a matter of passion to try and create and facilitate, create a platform where people can find that information.
Absolutely. Again, that big shout going out to the Veg Fest people, because we've been invited to do. We've done 2 shows with them now. We're doing the 3rd show with them up in London. That's what I'm finding with the Veg Fest people. I'm not necessarily teaching. I'm getting a diverse crowd, people that have heard about what we do, which is the medical side of the cannabis plant, although my real heart is in the agricultural side of it. And we've had a good reception at both of them, and we're also stoked with the Hemp Works charity and myself giving talks on medical cannabis, being a patient that cured themselves with the cannabis medicine. What wonderful response we're getting, and linking up with people like yourself, because I think it's nice now that we're all starting to understand that we all are part of the same parcel. We just got one different and wonderful information to add to that final mix, if you like. And I certainly promote, when I promote the medical side of the cannabis, that there is a whole food side that goes with it. Yeah. And for people to actually facilitate themselves to heal properly and very quickly through cannabinoid medicine, that they must really, it's all very advisable to talk to people like yourself. And we've had Graham on, who he's the raw food guy too, and we've had that lovely lady Lisa. I believe she's doing. We're going to one of her festivals next month in East Sussex. Hopefully we'll see you there. But yeah, it's all part of the same thing, isn't it? It's all how we use our medicine, how we use our food, how we treat our environment, our internal environment and our external environment. We're seeing remarkable cures that modern day PLC medicine can't even get now. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I agree with you completely. It's an exciting time. You know, we've got great challenges, but it's an exciting time when we can connect with each other in this way. And it's not so much about looking at what we disagree with, but isolating what we agree with and what new information we can integrate into what we already know. You know, that's the whole point of the Lifewell Institute, really. And what we'll be doing within the Lifewell Institute, having been deeply inspired now by what we've come across when it comes to, you know, the benefits of, as you put, cannabinoid medicine, we'll be incorporating that into the message. You know, that information has to be shared. The personal experience I've had with it now has been extraordinary. And I mean, to talk about where I am with that, having used it myself to relieve pain for about 8 months after a severe back injury, and really appreciating it on a level that I never could have if I used it recreationally when I was young, which I did a little, but it was never as appealing to me as it was a lot of my friends, you know. But I gained a deep appreciation for the plant while using it to relieve pain through vaporizing.
Yeah.
And more recently, and you know, this is significant because if anyone, you know, knows any part of my story, is I suffered chronic and debilitating illness throughout my life and had deep pain, and I discovered certain meditative approaches as a child, which I then harnessed and honed over my lifetime to help me overcome those problems, those difficulties. The thing that was difficult, particularly about this back injury, is I'm now a father to a young girl, and I'm an ever-present father. And when this back injury happened, I certainly didn't want to stop being so hands-on and active, and so I continued to be as much as I could. And I didn't have the leisure to really heal on my own time, you know, because my time wasn't just mine, it's for hers, and that's the way I like it. So to use the plant in that way was extremely beneficial for me. And I gained this deep appreciation. But more recently, I had someone come to me who was very recently diagnosed, that was told that she was terminal. She was a terminal cancer patient. It all happened very quickly. And within a few days of being given this prognosis, you know, she, through a family friend, made contact with me. And I mean, my first, you know, let me say, Steve, that my first port of call was to, in her mind, undo that idea of this is terminal and this is absolute. That's the first thing I had to do, and to reignite some hopefulness. And what I said to her was, and this is what I say to everyone in this kind of situations, it's not about giving false hope, but it's about acknowledging what's possible. And it is possible for people that are told that they're going to die to live, as you well know. And it's so important that we acknowledge that possibility, because it's not just an etheric and abstract idea. It's not just an opinion. It's medically documented. You know, within the Spontaneous Remissions Project, there's 3,500 medically documented instances of when people are cured of all sorts of conditions and diseases which by medical standards are incurable. And that's medically documented. So we're in this bizarre situation where sometimes we're told something's incurable, even though it's medically documented to have been cured in the past at some point. It's a strange way that we use language and a strange approach that we have. For me, it's far healthier, given all we know about the mind-body connection, the placebo effect, spontaneous remission, to acknowledge the possibility of healing. And so that's the first thing I do. And from there, which it was a wonderful, anyway, after one phone conversation, when you come along and you give someone that perspective and you give someone, that information, that already changes things for them. And with that information, this wonderful woman, and she's extraordinarily brave, and because she hadn't come across any of this information before at all. Yeah. It's all very new to her. And she, I think, Steve, you'll probably agree with this statement, it's one of my favourites when it comes to this subject, is the people that defy the odds when it comes to these kind of prognosis, these being told that they're going to die. The people that defy the odds are those who take responsibility for their own health. And that's what this woman did. And from there, we changed what she was eating. As you said, there's a lifestyle consideration. We made sure she was cutting out sugar and dairy. We had her juicing lemon and having lemon water in the morning, then followed up by a green food supplement called pH Booster by Tanganic Seed, which is a wonderful product. And then we had her blending vegetables and drinking these blended vegetable drinks. In fact, she enjoyed having them as soups. You can either drink them as smoothies or have them as soups. And she was still eating a little lean meat in the evening with some steamed vegetables. But just making those changes, within a week, she was experiencing extraordinary benefits, having just been told that she's dying. Yeah. Her facial pallor was returning, her energy was beginning to return, and it was noticeable to her family members. And then, having given an open door to certain information, I mean, my own guidance is centering mostly on emotional and psychological well-being. I can help inform when it comes to lifestyle. But I opened the door to other information, and they really connected. She, her and her whole family were really inspired by what they were coming across when it comes to cannabis oil. And so they obtained some. And Steve, this is when the magic really happened. It was extraordinary. Within 3 days, her eyes, which had been yellowish, became white. Her energy levels returned. She was playing with her grandkids. Yeah. Her daughter called me and says, "Rich, I've got my mum back." Yeah. That was within a few days of using it. And this is where the passion comes from, Steve, which I know obviously yours is a personal experience, but for me to see that difference and that change and that hope, and it's been a few weeks now, and I'm so optimistic for this wonderful woman and her situation, because we are really helping give her the best what she has about becoming it.
I think as well, Richie, having dealt with this, I'm pretty much in that situation almost on a daily basis. One of the joys about what I've been told, because I'm quite new at public speaking about myself. I've always been good public speaking about agricultural hemp, but that's a subject matter. And to try and explain medical cannabis to people now, the science of it is really so great. It's easy to get lost in the science of it. And what people were telling me, I don't really try and explain too much about the real science of it. I just tell people my story. That's what a lot of people find very inspiring. Yeah, to actually see somebody that has come through it, that they pick up on that. Anyway, Richie, we've got to go for a break now, and we'll be back in about 4 minutes. It's a marvellous conversation. Thank you.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Even Prince Charlie has a high regard for weed. He recommends it to MS sufferers who are in desperate need. It's medicinal, it's pure, and it helps to ease the pain. And if you're feeling down, my friend, it'll pick you up again. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Fantastic. I've got Richi Q back on, and he he's a man that walks his talk and talks his walk and walks his talk. So you've been trying a bit of the oil as well, I believe, Richie. Yeah, you've had now some personal experience of it to do with your back pain. Have you had any relief?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, I've been using, vapid bud here in the UK, and it's been wonderful. I found myself some weeks ago in Amsterdam, just visiting friends, and we'd done 2 days of walking, and at the end of that, my back was in a hell of a state, and of course it was quite easy to come by there. I don't know if you're aware of that, but Amsterdam
I'm very, very aware of the Amsterdam situation.
So we got something. It's a resin called pollen, and oh my goodness, the relief from there was extraordinary. So much more than anything I tried here.
Yeah.
And now we've got to the point where I've tried, having for my own curiosity, because I'm working with someone, I'm facilitating guidance with someone who's using this oil. For my own curiosity, I wanted to try it, and I've been using the 10% dilution, the solution that's got 10% of the oil in.
Yeah.
And it's been extraordinary. I've experienced a lot of different protocols and a lot of different things, and like I say, I've employed a certain mind-body technology, if you will, an ancient technology, which I discovered to experience well-being to very deep levels. But what I've been getting from this oil has been extraordinary. So my back pain is relieved now to a degree where I'm able to exercise and strengthen my back again. And the decongestion that I've been going through, because I come from a lifetime of absolute over-medication. I was a very sick child, and I'm aware there's still certain levels of detoxification I need to go through, but I'm doing this leisurely. As my needs aren't immediate. I haven't got any terminal problems.
Yeah, a nice slow detox is fine.
Yeah, and that's for my own situation. That suits me. That's fine. But there's been so much decongestion, so much mucus coming through from using this oil, and I just feel a lightness in my chest. I've had a history of chronic breathing problems and a lot of medication, and I just feel that it's really aiding that area. And generally feeling more energised. I'm in awe, actually, Steve. I'm in awe of the potency of this medicine.
Yeah, I think as well, I've been exploring some of these lower potency ones more on the maintenance dose now, because we know the dose for curing, right? We got that one down off pat. But there's a certain amount of people out there, especially people with chronic pain, the MS, the Parkinsonism, the stuff that is more, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to use the word not curable, but it certainly needs more of a maintenance dose than this flat out, because when you take the full cure, it does knock you about a bit. There's no, you certainly wouldn't want to be operating heavy machinery or driving, there is no way that anybody is going to take the cure. But then if they was on chemo, they shouldn't be doing that either, Sure. But for people that need to have the medicine inside of them, but they need to be complex mentis as well. That's the bit that I like. I like my medicine now to just be very functional, but not to get me so off the planet that I'm not really very much use to anybody. So I've been exploring these different percentages on different people, the sort of 10% solutions and 25% solutions, and I'm having quite a lot of good success with those, because the dosages that people can use on a daily basis, more for pain relief. It's by the way, there's a lovely saying that came out over the weekend, that it's not a pain, that cannabis medicine is a pain distractor. It distracts pain. And I find that fits really well with where I'm at. That's what it does. It actually distracts pain. Unlike the morphine that block it and you can carry on damaging yourself, it lets you know that the pain's not there, but it sort of doesn't become so much of a problem, does it?
Well, I think also, I certainly feel that it's addressing inflammation, because part of my back problem was an extraordinarily inflamed sciatic nerve, and that's been relieved.
So definitely. That's one of the chemical, I believe it's CBD, one of the CBDA, I think, has been as the anti-inflammatory. There's certainly one of the compounds. Don't quote me on which one. I'm not completely. There's too many compounds, and I'm still trying to learn them all. But one of the compounds is definitely anti-inflammatory. Yeah. So again, when you know when you lower when something is sore or hurting, it inflames inside the body, and that's what helps the pain. And the pain is a mechanism to warn you that there's something wrong with your body. So by lowering that inflammation, it automatically helps the nerve endings. It's a bit like poking a tooth, isn't it? That's hurting, wiggling it and things, and it makes it hurt more.
Yeah, and I've tried. The interesting thing is I've tried some of the strongest anti-inflammatories that nature has to provide us, and MSM is one of my favourites. Plant-derived MSM, the sulfuric supplement, and that, in my opinion, that was the best anti-inflammatory I've ever tried until I tried this.
Yeah, I think as well it complements all these things. I've certainly tried different combinations of cannabinoid medicines with other combinations like spirulina, MSM, and other things. And it certainly seems to be an actual enhancer for these other medicines to operate on a better platform. I don't quite know why that is. I'm sure the research will come out eventually, because there is just so much research going on towards this plant. In fact, it's hard to keep up with. There's just too much of it now. It comes in from every side, from every angle, from every country, from every sort of research facility in the world, and it's pretty much all conclusively very, very positive now.
I think the nature of what's going on, how we're being nourished when we use this medicine, the cannabinoids nourishing our endocannabinoid system, I think that will benefit anything we're doing. It's one of these wonderful, the idea of a magic bullet, of course, has sort of its own connotations, but
we look at it slightly different. You see, because of the research that's being done now, and it was Dr. Robert Medamida from Stanford, who's come up with this cannabinoid deficiency. And because we have an endocannabinoid system inside of our body, it needs the cannabinoids to activate it. The cannabinoids are all found in this cannabis plant. You can find them in other plants and different combinations, but one plant sort of does it all. So when you say a silver bullet, it is a silver bullet in the sense that it's feeding the system that controls an awful lot of the other systems inside of the body, and it causes the balance. This hematosis, it causes the balance of the body to be correct. I equate it a little bit to, like, for a long time we've all been sort of dehydrated, and the medical profession has been going around treating the symptoms of it's Homer Simpson's found cannabis cures. Well done, Homer. Yeah, they've been going around treating the symptoms of dehydration, which obviously are many-fold, when all their patient needed was a drink of water. So it would be like calling the drink of water the magic bullet. Well, it's not, and it's the same with endocannabinoid system. When it's fed to cannabinoids, a lot of the problems that we're having at the moment just sort of disappear. And this is one of the reasons why the researchers, to start with, couldn't quite work out what this medicine was all about, because it was curing so many different types of problems that were totally unrelated. And until now, the science has gone, well, obviously once the cannabinoid system is being fed, then you don't get all these problems. And the side effects of cannabinoid deficiencies are tumours, cancers, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, arthritis, diabetes. It just goes on and on and on. Now, I'm not saying it's going to cure all of those. Who knows, it might do. But it's certainly going to relieve a very large percentage of them, because some of them are actually misdiagnoses. They've been misdiagnosed in the sense that they're saying it's a Parkinsonism disease, when actually the Parkinson's has been caused by endocannabinoid deficiency. Feed the cannabinoid system and you relieve the Parkinsonism. So forth and so on. Again, with the kids that were having all the fits, one drop of this medicine and they stopped seizing. One come out over the weekend. After 2 doses, a little girl that was having like 200 fits a day, she didn't have a fit for 3 days. And she tried everything. They had her on absolutely every known PLC drug and every combination of these PLC drugs that you could possibly think of. And none of them done anything except for make her worse. Yeah, a couple of little drops of cannabis oil and the little girl's up talking and wanting to go to school. To our eyes, that's a miracle, but to the scientists now, they're going, no, it's not a miracle. You were cannabinoid deficient, and this is fixed the deficiency in them. So we're onwards and forwards with this, and I'm so pleased again that people like yourself are picking up on it and helping to spread this amazing medicine, because the sooner it gets out there, the sooner we can get over with a lot of the illnesses that are out there that people are suffering from. We're going to take another break.
Okay.
You okay with that? They go so quick. Honestly, this show don't last 5 seconds. Give us another break then, Casper. Maybe? Go on, Casper, go on.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP cardholder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor. So come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Open out your minds. The sun is closing in and we're running out of time. There's no point in worrying, no wondering what to do, cause the answer's in the colour green, it's shining through and through. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis, it's a very useful weed.
Right, shout out time. My shout out goes to Tony Macaroni, who wrote this song, and I'll give you a shout out every night. Also, to Sativa Bags, they've got a new line that came out yet today. So everybody go to their site and see what they've been up to with the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, because they support them and WWF supports Sativa Bags. A big shout always going out to the Veg Fest people and Tim and Yao. Now, also as well, we've got a show coming up, and I believe that Richie's going to be here too. We're all going to get together again down at Lawton in East Sussex. It's the Raw Fest festival that's being sorted out by, who's sorting out? Lisa. Lovely Lisa Aquila is sorting that one out. And that's on the 17th to the 21st. And the main days are the Friday, the 18th, Saturday the 19th, and Sunday 20th. I believe there's still tickets left for that. If you want to know about a change of life and a force of life and how to get some stuff in your body that your body needs, get yourself down there for at least all 3 days, if not certainly one of them, and you'll have a mine of information to and some experts, some real. Well, Richie's talking now. I believe Graham's talking now. I'm talking now. So that's what we need, really. Oh, and Lisa will be talking now. So that's 4 people. Yeah. So you are going to be at that one, aren't you, Richie? You're at the Raw Fest in Norton.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the great thing. You know, we were talking about you know, how this kind of this tribe really is growing and becoming inclusive, and us kind of learning from each other. This is a raw food festival, but you know, I'm speaking there. And, I talk, you know, I mention raw food. It's an important part of the lifestyle components, but it's not by any means my focus. And there's it's a wonderful, inclusive and holistic vibe it's got going on, and this is a raw food festival, much like Veg Fest, much like we were saying about Veg. You know, this is a vegetarian and vegan event, but you know, at the Lifewell Hub, you know, I speak. We have life coaches, transformational coaches. We have the Venus Project there, which is all about utilising technologies to liberate us from toil and a profit-driven society. So there's a really diverse array of speakers at those events. And it's wonderful to see Rawfest as well, inviting more and more diverse speakers there as well. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I reckon so, and it's a nice place where that is down in. I have to say that because I come from East Sussex, best county in England, East Sussex. Or it will be when it becomes cannabis friendly. That's the only thing we're missing down there is vast acreage of hemp crops. Yeah, seriously, we've got loads of good vineyards. I mean, we grow good wine down there. So the next straight will be East Sussex will be some of the finest marijuana growers in the UK. That's my vision. We got the soil, we got the light, we got the technology, we got the seed. All we want is a little change at Westminster. Woohoo! A little signature on a piece of paper. Woohoo! Not that difficult. They don't have to sit down for hours and debate it. It's already done. They're allowed to do it. Yes. So what's your next? Where do you go next then, Richie? Where are you at the moment?
So yeah, we've got Rawfest. When it comes to events, we've got Rawfest. Just come back from Amsterdam. Actually, another raw food festival, funnily enough, in Amsterdam, and that was wonderful again. And lots of diverse speakers there. Really nice family atmosphere as well. I took my daughter along to that. we've got Raw Fest in the UK, and later in London, we've got the London Veg Fest. Obviously, we mentioned Veg Fest. So there'll be a Lifewell hub there for 2 days at Veg Fest UK London. And I have the Wellbeing Seminar in October, the 18th and 19th, which is just features an extraordinary lineup of speakers. We have Dr. David Hamilton, Sandy Newbiggin, Tim van der Vliet from the Hay House author crop. We have Jamie Smart, who's a best-selling author of the book Clarity. We have Tanya Mayer, formerly Tanya Alexieva, who's a raw food coach and lifestyle coach. And Skip, an inspiring, again, he's had a self-healing story. He broke his back but went on to recapture his British gymnast title. So he's got some wonderful information to share.
Ruth.
And, I'll be speaking there, and just an awesome lineup. I'm so honoured to be a part of it, and proud to have founded the whole thing. It's really wonderful.
Fantastic. Well, we'll bring the radio station up there. That'd be nice. We'll do some archiving and get it all on radio for you and stuff like that.
You guys are absolutely welcome along. I'd love you guys to come along and have a stall and have people.
Fantastic. We're there. Count us in then. If I can talk about cannabis, I go anywhere I like.
We're deliberately targeting people that are very new to the kind of information we're sharing, because we want to reach new people. And so
that's my feeling too as well. I don't want to sit in a room full of people that don't know anything about it. I know everything about it. I want to sit in a room full of people that don't know anything about it. Yeah. And I want them to be objectionable, and I want them to throw every question they can at me. Yeah. And then we can get somewhere. We can enlighten the people that don't know, because they're the ones that need to know.
Absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful to gain more and more clarity, deeper clarity in what you already know, and learn that much more. But the vast majority of people just have no entry point. They've got no access to this information. They just don't know. And so if we can help facilitate that journey, if we can help open the door to that for me is the most exciting thing. And with a team of experts and speakers and authors and friends who are all sincerely motivated to be helpful, we can do some really magic things, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Exactly. I must admit, I'm very loud and proud of what I do. So I pretty much wherever I go, I carry my knowledge with me. And I must admit, just lately, I've been absolutely staggered at the general response from the doctor's surgery, which I don't go to. By the way, I was going to go for a blood test yesterday. This morning, do you know what? I got up and I thought, I can't even be asked to go to get a blood test. There's nothing they're going to tell me that I don't already know. But anyway, when I was going to the doctor's surgery, and I was very ill at one point, and most of the people up there were all very ill, but the people that are all still very ill are still going. And I turn up and I'm all bouncy and breezy and mention my medicine, and they're all ears, and they really want to know. And I done it in a phone shop the other day. It came up in conversation, and all of a sudden I was almost giving a lecture to a room full of people in the 3 mobile phone shop. Wherever I go now, it's just people want to know about this medicine. I sat at a table outside of a bar and kept my mouth shut. I didn't want to talk about it because I wanted the night off. And it virtually ended up on 3 of those big long tables, and virtually everybody not knowing anybody there. There was just people sitting on it. The conversation turned to cannabis medicine and recreational. And it was a fantastic conversation going on for at least about half an hour before I threw my little bit in. And they was all like, tell me more. It's staggering at the moment that people really do want to know.
Yeah.
Wherever you go.
When people have become very disillusioned with the information they've got. And we're recognising now through social media, this kind of liberation of information and connectivity between us. Truth eventually has to remain, because we have people relentlessly sharing their own personal experience.
Yeah.
And so people are waking up really to the fact that they're not necessarily told the absolute truth. And if they want the absolute truth, they may have to go and seek it and find it. And they're becoming more and more open. It's a really beautiful time. It really is.
It is, isn't it? Because anything that we say can all be Googled.
Yeah.
And I tend to, when I put a fact up, I try and I actually look at the data that it's come from before I post it. Yeah. And if I'm not sure about it, I will almost make a remark about check that out. I haven't fully checked it. So it is not just people's ideology, if you like, it's people's ideology backed up with the fact that maybe that's how they're living their lifestyle, and this is the key elements to it, and this is where they found the information. It really is. Google, I think, and Facebook nowadays is incredible, the amount of information that we're getting from it.
Yeah, well, like I say, the inevitability is that truth has to remain. It's becoming more and more difficult to be disingenuous. It's been more and more difficult to be deceptive. Quite simply, it's going to be too exhausting and too expensive to pull the wool over everybody's eyes for too long. We have access now to more science than we're being fed through mainstream channels, and we have access now to each other's personal experiences, which are relevant and important and persuasive. You know, we didn't understand the physics of fire before we started harnessing it. We just made fire, and that's true of so much other things. Science is wonderful. I love science, but I'm also a lover of the experiential, our own perspective, and sharing what works for us. And so we can all try and integrate different things into our life and see what works for ourselves.
Yeah. And this is true. When you've got somebody standing in front of you that's giving a lecture and they've actually been through that themselves, it just makes it so much more real. Not taking away from the people that go there and give out the science, but when somebody's actually used that science and done something with themselves, it just has such an entourage effect on people.
Absolutely. And of course, when we have more and more experiential accounts, more and more conversation, it inspires more scientific investigation as well. Yeah. The two go hand in hand, and then you end up with really a kind of revolution of information and discovery. And I think, that's what we're kind of looking at the moment. And for me, it's just so exciting. And
isn't it just exciting? I'm not a kid. I'm like a kid at Christmas. Right, the next bit, what's happening now? Wow, fantastic. And the quality of people that we're getting to talk to is just phenomenal. Yeah? And when you see the mainstream trying to put up, there was some dopey woman from Don't Smoke Skunk or something who the government listens to. She put up some ridiculous argument the other day about, well, it just doesn't even worth repeating. Science was from about 10 years ago. She was quoting things that were completely false, yeah, and just don't stand up to the light of day anymore. And this person's paid by the government as a spokesperson on the use of cannabis. I mean, you get more information out of a monkey, seriously.
Well, speaking of monkeys, you still hear cited the experiments with monkeys decades ago, which were these horrific studies, which were cited to have proved that cannabis use causes brain damage. Well, of course, these monkeys were deprived of oxygen for 5 minutes while cannabis smoke put through a gas mask. And
in fact, it was actually longer than 5 minutes. It was hours. They died of asphyxiation.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
They actually died of asphyxiation, and they tried to blame that on cannabis. Well, it was through cannabis, but it was asphyxiation of cannabis because they couldn't breathe anything else.
Yeah.
So how that bears up, and that was held as a scientific study for the best part of at least 25, if not 30 years.
Absolutely.
The science just doesn't stand up to anything anymore. At best, it was faulty. At worst, it was absolutely just made up anyway. And today's science is completely squashing it. Everything you've learnt about it, our plant, has been false. Schizophrenia. No, it helps with schizophrenia and depression. Yeah? And unfortunately, if one person does get a little bit funny on it, it's only going to be 1 in 1,000. There's 1,000 people who are going to get cured from it. Unfortunately, that's where, again, research has got to look at it and see if we can help that one. But we can't not cure the 1,000 because of the one. And that's what we're getting to. That's the figures we're getting to now. Yeah.
I think we can't have a double standard when we're looking at when we look at the problems that are being caused by the overuse of pharmaceuticals and the misuse of pharmaceuticals, and even the prescribed correct use of pharmaceuticals. To then try and just continually shoot down a natural medicine that is so beneficial, without proper investigation, just dismissing it without proper research. And without looking at that, really, I mean, why are we so ready to accept what we're being told and accept the consequences of mainstream medicine, and ready to criticise that which could be deemed alternative? You know, really, it's a hypnosis trick. We've been kind of seduced into defending industries whose survival necessitate us looking away from other options.
Yeah, it does. It's a bit of a one-horse show, isn't it? And that now is falling on their faces. We begin to see through that. And if it didn't work, why have they got 5 patents out on the plant between America and England? If it had no medical benefit, why would they be taking patents out?
Yeah.
So it's looking bad for them all the time. Every lie they come up with now is really sticking to them. And in fact, I don't know how some of them have even got the gall to stand up and start quoting some of the rubbish that they talk about. Because that's all it is, it's just rubbish. And people are seeing through it. Just normal people. Cannon mums are saw through it. They were all just normal mums. And because their kids got sick, they've now seen it. And it's gone further than that. They've seen how the governments are operating, not just in the truth of the cannabinoid medicine, but in the truth of the mainstream as well, you know, of how the chemo industry is operating, how food is not right, how the water's been done in, how the oxygen's been done in.
Well, it's going to snowball. It's you know, this is what I talked about earlier, the holistic perspective. If your eyes are open to one thing, you look through those eyes differently at everything, and suddenly a lot of things make sense and a lot of things click. And that's why, you know, a lot of people about this time as an awakening. You know, they kind of feel like woken up because suddenly there's the truth of one thing, and they've seen through the lies of one thing. They realise there's a lot of lies around, a lot of very similar lies, and these lies are stacked on top of each other to help structurally maintain a status quo which serves a certain few and deprives a certain many of the quality of life that they really desire and they deserve.
Well, believe it or not, we've done the hour. Richi, you've been a marvellous guest. I really look forward to meeting you, if not before, down on the Raw Fest in Loughton. And what a fabulous time. Please keep linked up with us. We'll keep linked in with you. Onwards and forwards. And remember, cannabis cures. What more can I say? Casper, we love you. Richie, thank you for being a guest. And we'll speak to you all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. We love it.